Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Carolina Jackpot at your service. What's going on, guys? How are you today? Carolina Jackpot time, checking in. Merry Christmas, everybody. It is December 25th, 2019. It also means it's Wednesday afternoon, about 4 p.m. or so, up here in the upstate of South Carolina. It's a nice day. I mean, it is really probably the nicest day we have had all month, save yesterday, which was also a really nice day. Didn't get to spend a lot of time outside, but I have today, and it feels like spring out here. It's great. A lot of people talking about, well, I can tell, just by the arthritis over here in this elbow that we're going to have a really rough winter. Shut up, you don't know shit, okay? I mean, it's green out here. I mean, we haven't really had a hard enough frost to even kill everything. All my annual plants and this, that, and other garden plants and all that, they're dead and long gone. But we're not looking too bad out here. Not too bad for wear. By this time last year, we'd already had some snow. We haven't had any by this point in the year. I think that we may be good to go through February. Once we pass March 1st, I mean, the likelihood of getting that kind of shit around here, I mean, it tapers off a lot. And that's really good for me because I hate that kind of weather. I mean, I really do. It's one of the things that's held me back from moving up north all these years. It's just my dislike for that kind of weather. So, I mean, I love the north in the summertime, but I don't know that I would like it in the wintertime. So I don't know how we're going to mesh if that marriage is going to work out or not. Anyway, I hope everybody's had a great Christmas. Everybody that's a fan of the Carolina Jackpot channel. Keep in mind, people that are not as fortunate as you or me, that they don't even know there's even Christmas, really. I mean, they don't know that today's even a special day. Something that I was going to make this video earlier in the day, and I kind of got emotional when I started talking about this, so I cut it off and stopped recording because I couldn't make it anymore. But something that's really gotten next to and touched me. There's a baby, a 14-month-old little boy, which is a baby, here in Simpsonville, South Carolina, that I read over the weekend. His dad, if you could call him that, is 20 years old, and they put him in jail on child abuse charges for beating up the little boy, threw him against a wall twice, and then hit his head on some type of piece of furniture in home a couple of times. Well, they put him in the hospital, and this kid was arrested. And then, sadly, I saw yesterday when I was at work that, unfortunately, his charges have now been upgraded to murder. Because, unfortunately, the little boy passed away yesterday at Greenville Memorial Hospital in the intensive care unit for children, which is just so sad. I mean, a life is so saddening. Don't even get a chance to, know who Santa Claus is. He doesn't get a chance to experience Christmas, really. I mean, that is it's bullshit. I mean, it's terrible. And to me, it speaks to, yes, not only is the 20-year-old kid a piece of human sewage that needs to rot in hell, but, I mean, other than that, you got to also think our education system and the way that people are brought up. I mean, it's wrong. I mean, it's messed up, and something needs to be done. Nobody instilled that kind of anger into this kid. Okay? Nobody instilled it into him. And you can say, well, his parents may have beat on him. Well, nobody instilled it into them. And his parents are probably the same age as me. I think that, there needs to be more in school. When you get there, your first year, I mean, there needs to just be more common sense taught to people. Anger management skills. I mean, coping skills. I mean, real life skills that are they don't need to be teaching you home economics and, computer bullshit, whatever, in the 12th grade so that they can get you the hell out of the damn system. They need to start teaching them early at 5, 6 years old, real life coping skills. Because blowing up and putting your hands on an innocent child, a defenseless baby, is not fucking acceptable in any walk of life. I mean, it's just not. And that's the way you channel your anger. I mean, It's just sickening. And, we need to do more as a society to teach people, how to react to things. Maybe things like this wouldn't happen in the future. It was still a piece of shit, and he's still going to pay the damn price for it. Don't think that I don't believe he shouldn't, but in my mind, everybody needs to take some accountability for fixing things. I mean, it's just wrong. Anyway, I got off on a tangent that I didn't want to get off on here starting this video. Hopefully you're still with me. Talking about college football and making picks against the spread. And this year in bowl season, it has been brutal. It's been so hard to pick these games against the spread because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's happening. I mean, you really don't. And really, we've gotten these quote-unquote unimportant bowls out of the way. There's a couple more tomorrow. I think the Quick Lane Bowl in Ford Field, which was like Eastern Michigan versus Pitt. I mean, they've got Pitt as an 11-point favorite, but you got to think that's got to be Eastern Michigan's home away from home, right? I mean, should be pretty close to being a home game for them at Ford Field, so who knows what's going to happen with that. And then you got Miami taking on Louisiana Tech in the Independence Bowl with the walk-on Independence Bowl, as Uncle Lou has alluded to many times on his channel. He's gotten a lot of mileage out of that joke. Man, I'm telling you, I don't know. I picked Miami in that game to cover and win just because I don't see them losing to. I mean, they've already lost to a Conference USA team once this year. I don't see them doing it twice. But, I mean, it could happen. I just don't see it. I think Louisiana Tech is a shitty program, and it's a shit show. I don't think that they're going to beat Miami if Miami plays up to their potential, but we'll see what happens. What I wanted to talk about is National Football Championship type stuff, and more importantly, the playoffs, which take place on Saturday, the first round. Of course, you have the Oklahoma State taking on LSU, but you also have number 2 seed Ohio State taking on number 3 seed Clemson. And here it comes that time of year again when I'm forced to give credit where I don't want to give credit, but I have no other choice but to do it. Clemson this year, people want to give them a hard time and say, well, I mean, they look like crap the first half of the year. I mean, what do they... I mean, really, though, what else could Clemson have done? They had one game that was close. Yes, I get it. 21-20 versus North Carolina. Also, if you look at North Carolina's games, their resume, and their 6-6 record, almost every game that they played has been within a touchdown. I mean, they are just a team that has all year long either won it or lost it in really close situations. So if you look at it in that wide spectrum, it's not surprising that they played a close game against them. And North Carolina has really improved this year over what they've been in years past. Over the summer, I'll admit, I'm one of the people that made fun of them, that talked trash, and I said there's no way that Mac Brown is going to be the magic elixir who solves this UNC. But you know what? I mean, he's doing it. They're recruiting great. They have out-recruited my South Carolina Gamecocks so far. And however you look at it, we have either 1 to 2 5-stars in the 2020 signing class. And please stop with the comments. I don't want to hear about Jordan Birch and how he hasn't signed with South Carolina yet and how he's still talking to Georgia. And now even somebody I work with told me he's talking to Tennessee now. Really? You don't talk to Tennessee. I mean, you talk to them. I mean, they talk back to you with Crayola messages, okay? He's not in contact with Tennessee. He's all Gamecock, 150%. Go look at his damn Twitter account. He wants to sign with all the other kids in his class, Alex Huntley, Muschamp's son, everybody else that's there that's signing letters. They're all going to do it together. It's a private school. They do things a little bit differently. And somebody else said, well, DJ Ukulele played for Clemson. He went to St. John de Bosco, which sounds like a fucking ice cream sundae to me, out there in Clemson, in California, and he signed his already. Well, okay, it's a different type of private school. That's the thing about being a private school. You can do things differently than the public schools do them. Makes no difference. He's coming to South Carolina. North Carolina, getting off on that tangent, has had a really good year. They had a good recruiting class. Mac Brown, I mean, seems like he's got things on the upswing there. Their next step is to make an even better bowl game and maybe win the ACC Coastal next year. They got the horses to do it coming back. I didn't think that they would. So I was wrong there. Not taken away from our loss to them in week 1. It was still embarrassing. It was a shit show, and I put that all on Will Muschamp's stupidity. We should have still won that game, even despite the fact that they are much improved this year. But getting back to Clemson, what else could Clemson have done? That was a close game. I get it. They blew Georgia Tech out in the opener. They blew out Charlotte, who was a bowl team, like 52-10. I mean, took the took the gas off the brakes took the foot off the gas pedal way before that game was over. Texas A&M was, it was kind of a close game. Yes, Texas A&M got the cute little backdoor cover, but was that even in question at any time? Texas A&M looked bad against them, and I mean, Clemson's defense just shut them down. Clemson has not allowed more than 20 points all year. That's the most that they have allowed in a game. Now think about that. 20 points. That's it. 20 points. I mean, my team and most of you other guys' teams out there, I mean, some of us are giving up a damn 30-burger by halftime. And most of these guys, we are doing it. And they are, 20 points. That's the most they've given up all year. So that offense that's ranked that high, coupled with that defense, giving up no more ground than that, I'm really scared they're going to win a national championship again. I mean, the threat of that happening, it's real. And it's upon us. And it's time that, we kind of cope with it and look at, things for what they are. This video is also, by the way, brought to you by Miller Lite and Ohio State. Let's hope, I hope upon hope, that Ryan Day has a game plan here, that he really, he's a first-year head coach, and that he has, reached into, his shallow bag of tricks. I call it a shallow bag of tricks because he can't have much of a bag of tricks. It's his first year. That he reaches into the shallow bag and pulls something out, and comes up with a masterful game plan to beat these guys. Ben Victor and Chris Olave on the outside for Ohio State, wide receivers. I mean, they're nice players. They're decent players, Big Ten type players. But they're not T. Higgins or Justin Ross, who plays for Clemson. Trevor Lawrence, yes, he's thrown 8 interceptions this year. I think he's got like 37 touchdown passes. He hasn't thrown an interception in God knows when. After the North Carolina game, just looking back at their scores, the next week they go up against Florida State, 45-14. Louisville the next week, which is a bowl team, 45-10. The next week, Boston College, which is a bowl team. I don't know how you make a bowl when you fire your coach, but anyway, 59-7. Wofford, which actually scored 14 points on Clemson, 59-14. North Carolina State, shit show, 55-10. Wake Forest, 52-3, which is also a bowl team, a team that I picked to win their bowl game. And then my Gamecocks, 38-3. ACC championship game, they dismantled Virginia, 62-17, which is also a bowl team. They're in the Orange Bowl, for God's sake. How in the world they made a New Year's Six Bowl type game is beyond me. But, it all just comes down to pairing and, conference tie-ins, and they don't have anybody else to put there. They're going to get murdered by Florida. They just are. But, Clemson, looking at these teams, yes, they play nobody. We get that. And putting my Gamecocks up there with the group of nobodies, we're there too. But, they've blown out nobodies. They've beaten the shit out of everybody they've played this year, save one team. Ohio State, you didn't cover the spread against Penn State, which I thought would be a closer game than a lot of people did, because Penn State's really good, especially defensively. I kind of don't like the way that you fell behind Wisconsin by 14 points early on in that game. Looking at that as Wisconsin's your toughest opponent, and you look back at Clemson's schedule and who's their toughest opponent. Looking at resume, the way it all boils down, bowl seed, it's got to be Virginia. It's just not, it don't look good. If Virginia played Wisconsin, it'd probably be a decent game. I think it would be. So there's that. And what solidifies them to me is the five up front. That's where college football, high school football, Little League football, the NFL, it's where it all begins. It's the five up front, your offensive line. If you got a good offensive line, it can mask a lot of ills. Clemson don't have a lot of ills on their team, but looking at these dudes, Tremaine Ankrum, John Simpson, Gage Saravinka, Sean Pollard, and Jackson Carman, the starting five across the front, to go along with the tight end, J.C. Chalk, and we've seen Trevor Lawrence throw to him quite a few times this year. He kind of had to take the place of Braden Galloway, who's going to be the starter this year, but he kind of got caught up in the whole Austin thing from last year, so he couldn't play all season long. Well, he's back on the team now because they're back in bowl season. That's when he got suspended last year. Lawrence has hit him. He's developed into a weapon. Along with T. Higgins and him, and then Travis Etienne, he's rushed for 1,500 yards this year, but I still don't think that we've seen. I think it's sad. He's gonna leave after this year. Pretty sure he'll be gone. We'll declare for the NFL draft that we haven't even seen. What he can actually do. It's scary. We're probably gonna have to see that at the next level. But to go along with that defense, which has not allowed more than 20 points all year, Isaiah Simmons, I don't know if he's any kin or not to Anthony Simmons, who used to be a linebacker for Clemson back in the mid-1990s, was actually in high school around the same time I was. He was from Spartanburg, South Carolina, developed into a damn beast for Tommy West there, and on some really bad teams for Clemson. But I don't know if they're any kin or not, but they play an eerily similar style of football. Anthony and Isaiah look a lot alike. And I just don't see Ohio State being able to have that much success offensively to be able to offset what Clemson's going to do to them through the air with Lawrence, and then on the ground. Chase Young is a nice player, I think, but sometimes the sunshine, Trevor Lawrence, the more that he gets rushed, people don't take into account a lot. He's like the third leading rusher on their team. Dude has a set of wheels. He can take off, and I've said it on here before that that I've kind of toned down my hatred towards him because, quite honestly, I've never even heard him speak. Okay, so I don't know, that he's some, people think, well, he's a Clemson quarterback, he's a cocky smart ass, this, that, and other. I don't know that. I haven't seen any of that from him, so, I think that the chances that he lights Ohio State up are pretty good. We'll just have to see. I got mad the other day because one of my favorite podcasts to listen to. Hey, stop it. Is the Menace to Society podcast with Zach Smith, former assistant coach of Ohio State, which you all guys know about that one. And he was on there just basically kissing the ass of a Clemson 24/7 beat writer named Anna Hickey about their team and T. Higgins this and Travis Etienne this. He couldn't even pronounce his damn name right, but I was like, oh, that makes me mad. I'm never going to listen to him again. But I got to looking at it, I got to thinking, Jackpot, sometimes you got to give credit where credit's due. And Zach's not being a hater. Zach's just being realistic. Zach was actually setting up for the fact that Ohio State could lose to Clemson. And I got to thinking, why is Zach so high on Ohio State anyway? Did they fire you? Why are you sitting here defending him? But my thing is, he's recruited a lot of those players. So, there's that bit of a tie in there. I think that his love affair with them will kind of falter, and, a little bit in, the upcoming few seasons because, the relationship there is going to be broken a little bit and get wider and wider as years go by. But I had taken Ohio State in my Pick'em challenge because, I'm a hater. That's what I do, and I can't stand Clemson. It would make no mistake about it. I'm not pulling for them in this game. Nothing would make me more happy Saturday night than to see Ohio State just simply beat the living bejesus out of these redneck, meth-pumping hillbilly fools and shut them up. You will see the flags immediately go down around here in the upstate of South Carolina. You won't see them come out again until like next August. They'll shut up. They will shut up because half of them wasn't even a fan 4 or 5 years ago. But another part of me tells me they're really good. And get ready, because I have a bad feeling that they're going to beat Ohio State on Saturday night. And, it'll be another Clemson in a national championship against either an LSU or an Oklahoma. And I'm still not sold on that. LSU, they got a nice story there. The offense has been lights out. We know how that is. But that defense, which was supposed to be the strong point of the team going in, they've not looked that great this year. Yes, they shut down Georgia, but so did my Gamecocks, which was a 4-8 team. We made them look like child's play. So I don't know that that's really a litmus test for anything. LSU gave up almost 40 points to damn Vanderbilt. And if Clemson takes them on, that's going to be, kind of a high-scoring game. But I expect Clemson to win it. And Oklahoma, which they've retooled the offense with Alex Grinch, who came from Ohio State. But I don't know if it's enough to stop them. I really don't. In 1 year, I just don't see them having that much of a culture change. Granted, with the type of style of football they play. Yes, I know Clemson hasn't really been tested. The teams they've played have been garbage, but they've killed everybody they played. So, what can you really say? If they had played all these garbage teams and all these other games and had beaten them by, 1 to 2 scores, they beat Syracuse by 1 touchdown, they beat, my Gamecocks by a touchdown, they beat Florida State by 10 points, then maybe we'd have a case say, look at how you did against all these shit shows. How you going to do in the playoffs? You're not going to do anything. But they've murdered everybody. So, and people talk too much about the slow start. The slow start they had really wasn't. It really wasn't. Just the national media wanted it to be that way. I wanted it to be that way. But when you look at it and, you take off your fanboy shades of whoever you're pulling for, you've got to see that there really wasn't. There really wasn't a slow start. There was a bit of a learning curve. With some new players, but all the pieces have fit together nicely, just like they're supposed to. They're highly recruited players, and that's that. Paul Feinbaum should take a lesson in humility from Carolina Jackpot, because I will give you the truth. That pencil neck geek will sit here and give you excuse after excuse. Alabama, 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 Alabama. Nick Saban, Alabama, Alabama. I don't want to hear it, Paul. Carolina Jackpot speaks the truth. You speak bullshit. All right, guys, that's all I have to say about that. We'll give you my picks and predictions against the spread for some more games a little bit later on. I'll see y'all later. I just had to do this one off the cuff because it was just on my mind. Appreciate it. Peace, and I'm out of here. Go Buckeyes.